The storm had taken almost everything. Winter pressed down upon the forest, and beneath the frozen earth, a tiny colony waited in darkness. Their food was disappearing. Their tunnels were weak. Every ant was afraid of what morning might bring. No one expected their smallest worker to become their greatest hope. Wrapped in his red scarf, the little black ant stepped into the snow. The wind pushed him back, but he kept moving. He climbed over frozen roots, crossed valleys between stones, and followed the faintest scent of food. At last, beneath an old leaf, he found a treasure, seeds and grains hidden from the storm. It was more than he could carry. So he did not try to become stronger than everyone else. He became wiser. He marked the path, returned to the colony, and led his friends back through the cold. That day, the colony learned its first lesson. Hope grows when it is shared. Weeks passed. The final snow began to melt, and warm light touched the entrance of their home. The brave ant climbed to the highest ridge and saw green returning to the world. For one quiet moment, he believed the danger was over, but melting snow was gathering above the colony. Drop by drop, a peaceful stream was becoming a flood. He ran. Across wet roots and shaking leaves, the tiny ant raced faster than he ever had before. Behind him, the water grew louder. Ahead of him, his family still knew nothing. He reached the colony and warned them there was no time to save every seed, every tool, or every tunnel. They could only save one another. The ants formed lines. The strong carried the young. Others guided the old. Together, they climbed toward higher ground as the flood swept through the home they had known. The brave ant was the last to leave. He looked back, not because he was defeated, but because he was remembering what must be built better. When the water finally became quiet, the colony stood beneath an unfamiliar tree. They had lost their tunnels, but not their courage. The brave ant searched the roots and discovered a dry hill protected by stone, moss, and strong branches. It was not a home yet. It was only a possibility. Then one ant lifted a grain of soil. Another joined. Soon hundreds were building together. A home does not begin with walls. It begins when someone believes rebuilding is possible. Beyond a narrow stream, the colony found fresh food, but the water divided them from it. The brave ants studied fallen twigs, vines, and leaves. Piece by piece, the colony raised a bridge. It bent in the wind. It trembled above the current. Still, the brave ant took the first step. When he reached the other side, fear became a pathway, and the colony followed. Survival was no longer enough. The brave ant drew a plan in the soil: safe tunnels, raised food rooms, clean water channels, and paths that would remain open during storms. The colony built a water wheel from bark. They shaped storage rooms beneath strong roots. A leaf elevator carried heavy seeds. Glowing stones brought light into the deepest tunnels. They built a signal tower to warn every corner of the colony. They opened a school where young ants learned not only how to work, but why preparation, kindness, and courage mattered. The brave ant had once searched for enough food to survive one winter. Now he was helping an entire generation prepare for every season. At last, the colony stood complete. Water flowed, food was safe. Young ants studied beneath warm lights, and families rested without fear. The brave ant placed down his old backpack and shovel. He no longer needed to carry the future alone. Around him stood a colony that had learned to think together, build together, and rise together. The smallest hero had not changed the world with strength. He changed it by taking the first step when everyone else had lost hope. And sometimes that is how every better world begins.